welcome to this video all about intervals. Now I'm really excited that you're learning about intervals because intervals are the distances between one note and another, and when you start learning about intervals you're beginning to learn about how to put notes together, and when you start putting notes together you start making music. If you're good at identifying intervals and you're good at singing intervals and hearing intervals in your mind, then you will perform your music so much better. I know that a third do sounds like that, so when I see it coming in my piece of music I know how I'm going to play it. Or if I'm asked to sing a piece, I don't need to play it at the piano first, I can see how it should go in my mind. So it's really important to understand intervals, and it's really good to practice hearing intervals. Now, here's how it works. If I play the first note of a scale and the second note, that is two adjacent notes, let's call them 1 and 2, I call that interval a second. If I play notes 1 and 3 of a scale, that interval is a third. Similarly, 1 and 4 is a fourth. Note 1 and note 5 is a fifth. Always remember that you've got to count the bottom note. So if I play this note, 1, and this note, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I've got a sixth. This is a seventh. And then the next interval, the eighth, has a special name. We call it the octave, because these two notes sound so alike. We give them the same letter name. We say that's low C and that's high C. Those two notes just go together so well. It's the octave. Now all these intervals on the left are melodic intervals. Do, do. You're doing one note, then the next to form a melody. So that's a melodic interval of a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth. All these intervals on the right, where the notes are being played simultaneously, are called harmonic intervals because they're creating harmony. I can't sing two notes at once, but these notes should be played together, so they're harmonic intervals. Now, if you go to your piano and you do play some of these intervals together, you'll discover that the third and the sixth sound really nice. We call them consonant intervals, and composers use them all the time when they want music to sound nice. Now, the second and the seventh sound really nasty. We call them dissonant intervals, and composers use them all the time when they want things to sound just a little bit painful or a bit tense or a bit exciting or a bit more complex. And then the fourth and the fifth sound quite bold and strong when you play them together on the piano. I'll be demonstrating that in a moment. Now if you look at this slide, I've thrown in some sharps and flats. That makes things far more complicated and we're not going to go there today, but look at these intervals. 1, 2, 3, G, A, B. This is a third. The next one is a third. The next one is a third. At this stage, don't worry about the sharps and flats. If it looks like a third on the page, then it is a third. So these are all thirds.
At the piano, play several different intervals. Notice how each interval has a particular sonority and character. Improvise a melody using parallel thirds or fifths to appreciate these sonorities fully.
Every interval on the piano has its particular character that we call its sonority. If it sounds nice, we say it's consonant. If it's nasty, we say it's dissonant. So get to know these characters. I'd suggest starting with a third. Now a third is when you play note number 1 and note number 3, skipping number 2. So it's got a gap. This is a third, and you can move it up and down the piano. And it sounds nice. Also explore the ones that sound nasty, the seconds. That can sound quite creepy. And the fifths, which sound strong and bold. Get to know these intervals. Get to be able to identify them as well, so that if someone plays this, you can say, ah yes, a third. Now, if you've not yet bought this book, it's called There's More to Playing the Piano by David Hall. Be lovely if you'd consider buying it. Every chapter covers a topic of music theory, and every chapter links to a video.